So time flies so fast. Uh, end of end of June, start of July, and it's quarter three, right? So
Yeah.
half of the month already. So yeah, welcome everybody. And also to those people who will be catching our recording in whatever time of day, morning, afternoon, or evening when you're done with your business, whatever stuff that you're working on. Welcome to the Hotline Support Hour, and of course, to our live viewers right now. Thank you for joining us right in this hour. We are glad you're here. And today, we're going to continue our conversation around payments inside Growth Genie 360, but with a different focus than last time. So, just a quick recap in part one, we talked about payments for service based businesses. So, that included things like invoices, deposits, recurring billing, payment reminders, and confirmation workflows. Now, today, part two, we're shifting to e commerce businesses. So it's going to be really fun stuff as Maria shows you later how to set up, if you haven't, your e commerce store and then go around with all the stuff that you can do if that's the nature of your business. Okay, so today's session is all about how GrowGenie 360 can help you sell your product online, manage checkout, even track orders and collect payments, and follow up after someone buys or even almost buys, because we're going to be taking a look at notifications or options when people just leave things in their cart. So the key idea is selling online should not create more work than it solves. Okay, so we want to make sure, thanks to GrowGenie 360, you'll be able to have your store, your payment, order, follow up steps all connected. And yeah, so a strong e commerce process is not just about getting someone to click buy on your website, but to make sure that what happens before, during, and even after checkout, the customer has a smooth experience, and even your team or the business knows exactly what needs to happen next. Okay, so we're going to take a look at how this can work inside Growth Genie 360. But before we jump into the demo, I want to give you this bigger picture to keep in mind. So first, for e-commerce, the sale does not end at checkout. Okay, you need to still know what was ordered, whether it was paid, whether it needs to be shipped or picked up, who needs to fulfill it, if you have a team member that needs to take care of that, and even what message the customer should receive after they click that buy or after they checked out. Okay, so that's where everything gets connected, and it can save you a lot of time and even prevent confusion for your customers. With that said, I'm going to hand it over to Maria, who will walk us through today's demo. Okay, take it away, Maria.
Alrighty, give me just a second. I have something in my eye.
No problem. Okay, well, Maria is just working on that stuff. Let me check our community. And once again, I wanted to say hello. Yeah, to our industrious business owners. We
Sorry
know,
about
guys,
that.
that it's really, when it comes to working on business, it's takes a lot of time. There are times that even when we are having meetings, the client will say, I have to, move to another meeting or move to another appointment. So we appreciate the time um, joining us to learn Growth Journey 360 and the stuff that you can do with the platform. Okay, I think Maria is
Um,
ready now.
yes, thank you for waiting. Sorry about that. Literally, you were saying that I was going to share something out of my eye. So, okay.
Okay.
Um, Alrighty, can you see my screen okay?
Yep, can see it now.
Oh, okay, awesome. Alrighty, so today, like Diana mentioned, we are talking about a little bit more about the payments area, but in this part two, we are going to talk about the e-commerce site of Growth Genie 360, and we're going to talk about specifically how to set up your e-commerce site, and we're going to kind of look at all those settings that need to be set up and all that fun stuff. And then we'll talk about tracking orders, following up after checkups, and all that fun stuff. So we're here in our test
Hmm.
account. So I'm going to show you. primarily where the e-commerce store settings are managed. And to do that, it's pretty simple, and I'll show you. So the first step that we want to do is go to sites, right? And as you can see, we have the websites tab that we usually go to, but in this case, we're going to use the store site. So whenever you are creating a store, a new store, you want to create it here. So I'm going to show you what happens. So let's start the onboarding. It gives you like some steps that you can find, some steps that you can follow. But at this point, you should have probably already added your domain and set up your payment provider through our onboarding meetings. So we're going to go ahead and close the guide. But if you need a guide to, hey, like, what do I need to do step by step? This is definitely here. So we are going to first create and customize our online store. So we're just going to click new store. And we can choose from templates or we can just create our own. So let's see what happens. And let's go ahead and just set up our own. And it'll be like
Sorry,
a super
Maria.
simple
Can
store.
you show
Yeah,
at least one example of a template just for the benefit of our audience?
yeah, of course. Okay, so let me just go ahead and show you one of the templates. So as you can see, there are some templates, and of course, they're always growing. So if you are like thinking, hey, like what's going on? I don't see too many. That's okay. The templates are always like being updated. All right, so let me go ahead and pick this template, and then I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So, of course, if you're like a little bit afraid of creating your own, your blank space store, then you can pick a template and then just make it look however you want, like however you want that to. So the what's it called? The uh, design matches your website. All right. So when you first create the template or you first create your shop, it's going to look pretty basic. All right. It's going to have your header and all that fun stuff. But then we have a new section here, and it's called the products list section. So this is basically your products list page and where your products will live. And of course, you can customize it. You can play around with the font sizes. You can play around with the fonts as well. And then you can also play around with the measure, like how many products you see on one page. So usually as a default, we only show like a few, but if you need to show it more, then you can. And you can play around with columns, show reviews or ratings, show the reviews or accounts. So if you're like don't want to show reviews, you can close that out. And a lot of different customizations, of course, that you can choose from. And then if we scroll down a little bit here, we have some custom created, what's it called, columns. So this right here shows your client, kind of gives them a little bit of information about what you do. So free shipping, and then your return policy, as you can see, eco-friendly and gift cards. So a lot of options are things that you can kind of like take for yourself or like kind of get inspiration from. And then of course we have our little footer right here. Alrighty, and let's go back to show you kind of what's going on here and what you can expect from creating a shop. So once you create a store, you're going to get a bunch of different pages. All right. So the most important pages are going to be your product list, your product detail, your cart, and your checkout. So obviously, when you're creating a store, when you're selling online, you need a cart and a checkout so that your clients can check out. So when you create a store, these pages are created. And once you start adding your products, they automatically generate. So you don't have to create a product detail page for every single product. It just automatically generates itself with that product. And I'm going to show you what I mean here on a live website. All right. So right here we have this website from a client who sells online. And you can see she sells some soaps. So whenever I click on the products, which is kind of like that product list page that I showed earlier, when I click on that, it's going to show the product page. All right. So as you can see, this product page is going to look like this, and it's going to have some information about your products. So any type of like um, variants or the number of products that you have. And I'll show you a little bit more in depth when we go into a like building products. Okay. And then once you add that to your cart, it of course takes you to it adds this automatically to the page, which is really cool. And then you can view your cart, and then here you can delete or add more items if you want, and then your checkout. And this is what your checkout looks like. Pretty basic in the sense of like, hey, this is what a lot of other e-commerce websites look like. So if you're kind of considering Growth Genie, or you're kind of looking at, hey, what can Growth Genie do for me? It's not, we've talked about this before, but it's not just a CRM. You can build your own website, obviously, like we have before, and also you can build your own checkout e-commerce website. So that's pretty cool. It's what's really cool about Growth Genie is that you can have everything in one place, and we talk about that a lot, but you can truly have everything in one place. And I'm going to show you how like the back end side of selling online works as well. Alrighty, so this is kind of like what that looks like and how you would go in, like on through the selling process. Alrighty, and okay, let's see. And then of course we have our other pages, and you can go in here and edit those pages, and it's just going to be your cart page that we saw earlier over here. As you can see, it's all nice and has her colors for the checkout. And you can do that here as well. And like you can make any type of adjustment that you want, but it already comes made. So you don't even have to look like, hey, how do I set up a cart page? Like you don't have to do that. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit here. Alrighty. So let's go back to our stores area and just kind of show you a little bit more. You have a checkout and a thank you. It already comes with a thank you page, and it also comes with some extra pages. So if you've already built a website, you don't have to use these. But if you just getting started and you just want to and you set up a store, it does come with some home pages and contact us, and then like an about us page so that you could start setting up an actual website with like more content and all that stuff. All right. So now we're going to talk about the payments area. So now we showed you where you set up your store. Now we're going to go to the payments area, which is on the left-hand side green menu. Alrighty, so a few tests from last time. But this time we're going to deal in the order section, and then we're going to look at the product section. But first, actually, let's do products first because I'm going to show you how to create a product. So in the products tab, you see different options. So products, collections, inventories, and reviews. And I'm going to show you what that how that all that works. Alrighty, so this is the products area where you would add your products that you're trying to sell on your website. So you can import any product from Stripe. So if you already have your product set up inside of Stripe, you can just import them. Of course, that you have to connect Stripe. And then you can also import a CSV file. So if you have all your items in a CSV file, you can import that. But if you're just creating one-on-one, you're just starting out and you want to create an individual product, this is how it works. All right. Create product, and now we are going to create a t-shirt as an example. All right, this comes automatically toggled on, so just leave it on because that way it'll show up on your like on your main products page. If you toggle it off, it won't show up, and then you're like, hey, I saved this and it's not working. So this also works as a way to automatically remove items from your website that you don't want to delete, but you do want to, you want to not show up on your website. All right. So let's do like a product name and then some descriptions. This is a t-shirt. And then collection. So product collection talks about like like maybe you have t-shirts, and then your other product collection is going to be like tank tops, and the other one's pants. So that's how you kind of set up the product collections, and you can add them through here. And then we can also go back to the main menu and add it through there. And then of course we have our tax category. So if you want to label this like, hey, this is probably like clothes. Oops. Okay. So clothing related, something like that. and including tax and prices. So you will, I'm going to show you where you set up your tax, but you do want to make sure that it's as per global settings, unless you have like a specific setup, like a special setup for certain items. All right. And attaching your tax rate, that just means that instead of showing, like if you have an item that's $5 and you want to attach the tax rate, it's going to just show all together. So it would be like 508 instead of $5. So I don't tend to click on that because it's a little bit confusing. A lot of clients understand that they have to pay for taxes in the checkout. So if you just show the checkout, that's totally fine. You can also add a photo here. So if you want your products to have this nice little photo, you can. And here's where you add your prices. All right. So you can do one time or we can do recurring as well. And then we have the amount. And then, if, of course, if you want to do, hey, like it used to be $10 and now it's three. So kind of like right here. All right. So as you can see, we have the amount and the compare at price. So right here, we have the amount and the compare at price. And it also gives you like a, hey, this is 56% off right now. So it gives your customers like a really cool idea of like the discount that you are providing. You can also track inventory. So as you can see right here, we have a quantity. So if you want to, we only have three in stock. So it's going to say only three in stock. You don't have to do that. You can just not check off the track inventory, and it's just going to not give you like an amount of items available. So this is handy for when you're only making like a certain amount of products at a time. You don't, if it's like you're making t-shirts and you don't, and you let people order as many as you want, you might get a little bit overwhelmed. So um, when you click on the track inventory, you're able to add the available quantity, and then of course also continue selling even when out of stock. You can do that. Some optional option or some optional additional options, not optional options. Some additional options are the price description and membership offers. And then you can also add more prices for variants. So as you can see right here, we have a pumpkin spice bar and a loaf, and they're both different prices. So that's something that you can add right here in the variant section. And of course, you have your SEO area that you can set up all the SEO. All right, so once that is created, we're gonna go ahead and add the price here because we are creating that. And we're gonna save. Did I miss something? Okay, no, perfect. All right, so it's been saved. And then we're gonna go back and we can see our t-shirt right here. Alrighty, so we can click on it and then it'll go back and yeah, so that's how you create a product. And then let's go down a little bit through here and let me show you the collection. So you can create a collection inside of the product itself, but you can also create a collection in the collection area. So if you're trying to create a bunch of collections before you create your products, that is something that I would recommend. Otherwise, you're going to have to go in and change the collections for each one, and that's not fun. So we're going to click on create collection, and then we're going to create our collection t-shirts. And then we can put an image like here. Let me just show you a real life example right here. So one of her collections is special occasion and the other one clearance, and you have fun little graphics there. And then you can also add one by one or do like the smart adding collection types. So if it has like a condition or like a price or like if it's title or let's see, t-shirt, it'll add it automatically, but we can also do event. Okay, and it'll search our, oops. I'm not sure. Search products. So you can add some different conditions. Not sure why this isn't working. It's taking us over to the media storage. So I'll have to look into that. But basically you just save your condition here, or sorry, your collection here, and you will find it by, you'll find like the collection right here. All right, and as I said before, you can add a bunch of different collections, and then you would just go back to your product and you go edit it. And right here where it says collection, or what's it called, collections, then it would take a little while. It takes a few seconds to add, but you would basically just add it right there once it shows up. Okay. Let's see if it already loaded. No, it didn't load, but that's okay because it's just sometimes it takes a little while when like a few minutes, like maybe like one or two when you're creating something. So if you don't see it right away, just wait a little while. It's the browser cache. Alrighty, so inventory right here is somewhere where you can handle all your inventory at a time. So like all at the same time. So if you don't want to go one by one by one, you can go here, and as you can see, you can update right away, and then you save, of course, and then that's saved. All right, so that's kind of cool. You can do it all at once. And now we have reviews, and actually, this is a really cool part of the system, and I'm going to show you this right here on our real life e-commerce website. Okay, so products, reviews. And right now there's a review and when people submit reviews, it's going to go to you. You'll get a notification and it'll go to you so that you can approve it or unapprove it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just open up this item right here. And okay, it takes me to edit it. Let's go ahead and go here and search for it. Okay, so light neem and the chlorella soap. And right now it's currently unavailable, but if you scroll down, you will see that that review was posted on here. So GrowthGene 360 makes it super easy for your clients to add reviews on the products. That way you can have more legitimacy with other people who are looking to buy from your website. Alrighty? And
Wait, Maria, you're on mute.
oh, sorry about that. Okay, so as you can see right here, you can approve it and you can also unapprove it or send it to trash. Let's go ahead and approve it. And now it's in the approved file area, and it's going to go on the website. So let's look it up as something that wasn't like as a product review that was not there before. Okay. Oh, it's all natural deodorant. Alrighty. Okay, so all natural deodorant. Now there's a review on there. All right, so this is pretty cool. Again, and people can just write reviews here, and that will be something that goes to you to be reviewed. All righty, and let's see. So let me talk a little bit about some other items right here. Of course, we talked about the products and how to create a product and also how to create a collection. Now let's get into how people pay. And I'll just do like a little bit overview. But of course, if you are creating a website with products where people can purchase, then you need to have a way for them to purchase because it doesn't appear magically, right? So we're going to go to settings. I'm sorry, we're going to go to integrations, and here's where where you add your payment provider. So you either have Stripe or PayPal or Authorize.net or something like that, and you can what's it called? You can add it here, and that'll make it so that you are able to purchase on the website. Alrighty. Any questions so far, Diana? Can you just check really quick if there's anything there?
I don't think so, but just to kind of like help people or our audience like make sense of this. So thank you, Maria, for showing us like how it looks like on the front end, meaning how the customers access it, and at the same time on your end as the business owner, how it works on on the back end. So it's cool to see that there are already templates that you can use, so you don't have to think about all those kinds of things. And yeah, the things that you need are all connected within GrowChain 360, just like Marie has shown earlier. The page itself for your e-commerce website and all those. I'm sure Maria will be showing to you later, like how it goes when somebody actually does an order. So she's gonna do a demo of that. So like that kind of journey. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep going, Maria.
All right. Thank you, Diana, for checking. All right. So whenever you add your connection, as you can see, this has been connected. So Stripe is kind of like the most common and it's super easy to do. So if you have a Stripe account, you literally click connect and then log into Stripe. PayPal's a little bit harder because there are a few extra steps, but it's not like you can do it as well. All right, so let me just show you your checkout area. If you don't have anything connected, you can't really move forward um, with the checkout. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back here and let's look at your orders area. Okay, so orders area, this is where once somebody makes a purchase. And then let's just kind of explain the customer journey so far. So your customers are going to browse the products, then they click into a product, right? Let's go and kind of just show you. I've showed you a few times, but that's okay. So your customers are browsing the products, and then they click on a product, then they add it to cart, then they review the cart, and they complete the checkout. And what happens after that? After they pay, they're gonna get a confirmation thank you page that says like, you purchased something, and then what happens on your end is that you're going to get a notification that there is a new order, and it's going to be right here. So in the same payments area at the top orders, this is where you are going to see the orders come in. I'm going to show you one in real time since we don't have any orders right here. So here are some orders, like just a lot of different orders. As you can see, some of them are fulfilled, some of them haven't been fulfilled, or they simply haven't been marked as fulfilled. Alrighty. And if we go look at one of them that has been fulfilled, you can click right here and then you can view order. And once you see, like, you come in here, you'll see all the information to fulfill the order, and then you'll also get, this is what you click right here, this fulfill items. This is what you click in order to mark that order as fulfilled, which meaning that you are sending it over to the client. And right here they have 5 out of 5. Make sure that you have 5 items in it, in your container or your box, whatever. And then you can add a tracking number, a shipping carrier, and then a tracking URL if you have that. And you can even print a packing slip for, the inside of your box. And you just click on print packing slip, and then a packing slip is created and then downloaded on my computer, as you can tell. You can also click it right here. Alrighty, and then you click on fulfill order, and that's how it shows as fulfilled, and the client gets an email. Okay, so abandoned checkouts. So there's a lot of places have abandoned checkouts, right? And what's really cool is that Coach Genie has it too. So you can follow up with your clients if they abandon the checkout, and it shows you who has abandoned the checkout, and it shows you who has been recovered. So an email is sent out, and I'm going to show you where those settings are here shortly. An email this is sent out shortly after they've, like, whatever hours, and um, not only does it show you what items they had at their checkout, it also shows you some information about them and where they were making the purchase or where the checkout happened, which is the website. And then it tells you if they came back to purchase. So that's really cool. So if they didn't come back to purchase, then you can, follow up in other ways, create a workflow that follows up with them. And if you do recover it because you sent out that abandoned checkout email, then that's pretty cool. And then you also have this area that's transactions, where you can view all the transactions. Okay, so the client, this specific client has she sells online, but then she also sells her products on what's it called, on shows, like those community shows that people have, like for Christmas and for holidays and stuff. So she sells in person as well. And so this is why it says unknown. So if you're looking at it and you're like, hey, that says unknown, that's weird. It's just because she sells in person. All right, so I'm going to show you what that looks like when you want to sell in person as well shortly. If, actually, we might just do it here, like right now. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen here because I'm going to share my screen. on my phone. Alrighty. Let's
Yay, time
see.
to showcase lead connector once again.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's if you are not yet using lead connector, it's again a reminder for you to download lead connector and yeah, have it handy. So
Alrighty. So I'm sharing my screen now and I'm going to show you here the Lead Connector app. And let me go ahead and get rid of my little video there. And it's really cool. So we're going to go to Green Garden Body Care, which is the same website we were looking at before. So the cool thing about Growth Genie 360 is that we have this app Lead Connector and you can actually sell on the app. So if you are selling in person, you can use this to handle the transaction and it'll show up on obviously it'll show up here. You can keep track of it instead of just like saying, hey, yeah, this is a sell and then here, take your money. You can keep track of it on the platform. All right, so if we take a look at right here where it says pinned apps, you'll see contacts, opportunities, dealer, and point of sale. That's what that icon is that says POS. So I'm going to click on that. And this is what the point of sale area looks like. So you're selling in person and you want to sell certain items on in your catalog. You can definitely do that. You can choose and put it in the cart. All right. And you can choose like, hey, this person wants a lavender lip balm. You can add it to your cart, or you can also just sell in with your keypad, which is what I think my client was doing. She was just kind of adding it up and then selling uh, like this on the keypad. All right. So item details, that's custom item. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So you review the sell right here, and you can also add a customer, or you can just sell as is. So you don't have to sit there and be like, hey, like I need to add it to a customer. If you do want to grab the customer's information, that's fine. That works for you, but you don't have to. So if you see that on there and you're like, hey, do I have to add somebody? You don't. All right. So now we have this item, the all natural lip balm, and then the custom item, and it shows you the taxes and everything. And you also have a place to add a discount. So if you want to offer a discount with a coupon that's already on your website, you can. And now we choose our payment instrument. All right. And what's really cool about the lead connector is that you can tap your phone, like people's phones, their card, they can tap it on your phone and then they can pay. And it's not going to, oh, it did work. I think connected my iPhone to it. But basically you just tap it like this and then people can tap their card on your phone and then they'll be able to pay. So it's declining because I don't have a card that I'm tapping. And then other methods that you can use, so you don't have to just use card. You can also use cash. So if somebody has cash, but you still want to track that sale on Growth 360, then you can accept cash right here. And then you can accept other types of cards. You can do like check or bank transfer or other things. And then you can also prepare an estimate. So if you're selling a lot of things for a client and they want a legit estimate in person, you can create an estimate. And then you can also convert it into an invoice, which, as we learned last week, invoices are something that you send with a link and they can pay on online. All right, so lots of different ways that you can use this, and it's really cool again because you can see all of your products. You can go through them and say, hey, like they want deodorant and then what they want soap. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to that list. And again, we can do the keypad. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and then we're going to go back to the website here. And yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I just did. Go ahead.
if you guys have any question, feel free to drop it in the community. And of course, we're also extending this to those who will be watching this later on for the public audience. Whatever platform you find us in, feel free to write a message. And of course, if the session today is live, our team will always be happy to answer or respond to any questions that you may have. Okay.
Awesome. All righty. So now I'm gonna, I didn't click on the share. Just a second. All right. So now let's look at the emails that go out. So right here, we're still in the payments area and we're going to go to settings. And here's where you handle your receipts. So if you want your clients to receive an actual receipt, email, invoice, like a PDF, you can toggle this on. All right. And it'll be, I don't know, for like business tax reasons, you can do that. And here's where you handle taxes for all the sales. So as you can see, we have some taxes in here. You can also do automatic taxes and all that fun stuff. All right, we have now, this is where we kind of get a little bit into the notification emails, something that needs to be set up once. A little bit of, it seems like a daunting task, but once you set it up, you just leave it there and it all works as it should. All right, so we have an abandoned cart notification. So this is where one of the places where you can handle the abandoned cart emails. It's super simple. I would recommend you just do it here because otherwise you have to deal with a workflow, and I'm going to show you how to do that or later. So you enable the abandoned cart email, and then you pick your template, and I'm just going to show you what that template looks like. Alrighty, so once it finishes loading, okay, so the template's going to look like this. It's really like we made it look like the client's brand and all that stuff. We put her logo at the top, and this is kind of like the shopping cart area that would show, hey, you left this on like in your cart and you haven't checked out, you haven't purchased it. Come back and return to your cart. And actually, this little button sends them straight to their cart, the one that has the items that they had saved previously and they just didn't check out. So that's pretty cool. And if you're looking at this and you're saying, well, how do I make this? Actually, this will come with a standard email that shows you that already comes like, it's like a template. It's already pre-made and it has these items on them. It'll have the button with the link that you don't even have to worry about finding. And then it'll have products in your cart. And then just give me a second.
Okay. Yeah, Maria has just to deal with something else. Okay, so where we are at right now, Maria is showing us options to set up that notification for abandoned cart, because it happens that sometimes people they start viewing or cart and something like that with Maria, like there's a distraction or something and then they don't get to finish the purchase journey. So it also happens to your clients that they're browsing on their phone or they're browsing on their computer and then suddenly their child needs attention, and then they don't get to finish it. So yeah, the system can send notifications, and there are two ways to do that. And Maria, right now we're dealing with what's like native to the platform itself. And then the other one is if you want to be more sophisticated, you can also set up a workflow. Okay,
Yep,
continue,
and we're going to
Maria.
thank you, Diana. And we're going to go through that workflow here shortly. But this already comes, like it's a template that comes already pre-installed for you. You can leave it as is, or you can make it nice so that it looks like your brand. Not that the template isn't nice, it is nice, but you want to make it look like your brand. Okay. And it gives you the choice to have a subject, whatever you want. And then also it has the option to send it after a specific. As you saw earlier, we showed you the abandoned car area, and this client recovered quite a few clients and was able to finish, make those sales because she sent out these abandoned checkout emails. So we did it for 10 hours after, but you can do minutes, days, months, though I don't recommend months because that would be a lot of time and people probably forgot about it. You want to make sure that you send it between a few hours because then you're at the top of people's minds and then they make the purchase. All right, so the next item is the order confirmation store. So this is the order confirmation that goes out when people make a purchase. You can enable it or disable it. And the reason why I disabled it here is because I made a workflow out of it. And the workflow is has a little bit more things like text messages and all that stuff. So I didn't enable it here, but you can. And it comes with a default template. And I'm going to show you what the default templates look like, okay? Again, default templates, super simple, can be used, can be sent, but it's not going to show your logo and you probably want your logo. It's not going to have your colors, which you probably want. So you can just kind of like go around these areas, which are the important areas that have to do with like the checkout or the purchase. All right. And you can just make it like look like it's branded specifically to you. Okay. And it also works if you're just selling digital products, by the way. So if you're selling like a download, I can think of things like cross stitch. So I buy some like cross stitch PDFs, so you can do that. Alrighty, and then order fulfillment emails. So earlier when we were talking about uh, about for fulfilling our orders, they get an email once it's shipped out, right? Because people like to see what that like like shipping looks like. So it'll have your order has been dispatched or your order has been, like shipped or anything. And it'll give you like the order ID, the shipping carrier, the tracking number, and the URL. So, like it comes with a lot of these things as a template and you can just use it as is, or you can make it nicer. But it shows your client the important things that they need to know about their orders, such as the shipping number, which is what's most important for me when an item ships because I am anxious to get it. Okay, so that's kind of like the customer notifications. Now we have the team notifications. So this is for internal. So we have the order confirmation for stores. So this is the order email, like the order has been made, and that's how you know that it needs to be created. Again, this is something that I created in a workflow, so it's not something that's enabled here for us. But you can also send a text message. So if you're really bad at looking at your emails, which you shouldn't be if you're a business owner, then you can send yourself a text message that tells you, "Hey, somebody made an order." All right, and it can be managed in another tab. Some other items that I want to show you in this area that you need to set up if you're planning on selling physical goods are the shipping and delivery. And you can add as many shipping zones as you would like. So say you can do free shipping, second rate, first rate, and then local pickup as well. And that's kind of like what we have for our client. If you want to ship internationally, that's definitely something that you can do. You have that option, as you can see, and it'll help you come up with a rate, but you can also set your own rate. All right. Shipping origin, that is going to be the address of the client, so I'm not going to show that. Subscription settings, this is another subscription. If you're dealing with subscriptions, kind of like I don't know, the soap of the month, then you can set all this up, and payment right here, payment emails, payments fails, like how often do they go out, and then of course also other items. Miscellaneous charges, so enable passing processing charges to the customer. This is something that's become more common nowadays when you pay with a credit card. So if you want to send like the 3% processing charges to your customers, you can do that. And you get to pick where. So if you only want to do it with funnels, if you only want to do it with payment links, then you can do it. If you want to use it in your e-commerce store, you can also do it. But if you're hosting events and you don't want to charge them that, then you don't have to click on it. So it gives you the choice. And then we also have finally a payment link customization. And that's just what that payment link that you might send via email to your client would look like. Not really necessary when you're running an e-commerce store unless you are quoting a wholesale order, which a lot of people do. So if you're quoting and sending out a wholesale order to say like a bigger business, then you can use this and send them a link so that they can view the invoice and the payment. Alrighty, so I've showed you pretty much everything that has to do with an e-commerce store. And of course, we kind of reviewed all the invoices and estimates last week that had to do with like more service-driven businesses. And now I'm going to show you really quick before we go gift cards. So you can create gift cards. So let me just show you how you do that. And if you want to have the option of clients buying gift cards on your website, that's something that can be done as well. Some basic information, customize your card. So let's go ahead and just kind of go through that. You don't want to set an expiration day. You can add a link that goes specifically somewhere. You can upload custom artwork. So if you have like somebody who wants to create like somebody who wants to create like a nice artwork, or you create a nice graphic with Canva, you can do that. And then you can also make it really like, you can just make it super simple and pick a color, right? And you can do something nice right there. And you can also add it to templates. So if you love this color and you want to use it in the future, you can add it there. Alrighty, and now we're gonna set values and category. So now we're gonna do like, hey, how much is this gonna be? $200. Or you can add a custom value. What's your inventory? So if you want to do like 100, or maybe you just want to sell 5 or something like that, and then you can add it to your categories like gift cards or something like that. All right, so now we're gonna hit continue, and this is what it looks like. You have a little QR code so that you can share, like maybe at a show or something that you want to add to a QR code, and then you also have this link right here that I didn't add because I don't know what, but you can add it to your website. Alrighty, basically, and now we hit create gift card, and we're good to go. And now we can also do coupons. So we kind of went through coupons last time. And so really quick, we want to just do coupons. So as you can see, you can purchase like an abandoned cart coupon. The client chose to send out a 10% discount with every, what's it called? Every abandoned cart. And you can do that as well. All righty. I know we're running out of time, but this subject has so much to share. And I'm okay with going a little bit over if you are,
Yeah.
Diana.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's just finish it
Okay,
up.
yeah. Okay, yeah, there's so much to talk about. And so I'm going to show you some workflows, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you four and just kind of explain them to you. So here are my automations. This is the abandoned cart automation that I wanted to show you. All right. And we have the option to do in a Shopify abandoned cart if you want to handle that and like make it feed through GrowthGenie 360. But if you're just using GrowthGenie 360 for everything, like we think you should because it'll make it easier, then as your trigger, you're just going to type in abandon checkout. Alrighty, and you can add filters like how many hours. We're gonna do 10 hours. That's 600 minutes. All right, and I don't know that off the top of my head. I just did the math earlier, and that's gonna be your trigger. But we already have that trigger here. It's the same exact trigger. So after that, you can do either like a wait if you want to wait a little bit longer, but we don't need to do that here. And then you can send out that email to your client. And it's going to be that same email that we had earlier, but you can customize it like you do. And that's kind of like how you set up the abandoned cart workflow. I mean, it's pretty simple, but if you just want to use the native option, it's the same thing, and you don't really have to do anything other than pick a template and toggle it on. Alrighty, so right now we have an order place automation, so which is why it was toggled off in the native area, because we have we created a workflow for this client basically. So anytime an order is made, sorry about that, my screen expanded. So your trigger is going to be order submitted. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, you can add filters for specific items that are there, but I would just recommend that you just add the order submitted, and then you get yourself sent an internal notification and an SMS, and then you set up that customer that customer email that goes out with the confirmation email. And then you also want to add a tag. So that's one of the, like we love to organize things here. So we want to add a tag that says purchase made. Let's add a new tag and save our action. And what happens with that tag, we can do a lot of things with that tag. So if you add that tag to that client, you can wait some time and then add them to another workflow that's like a nurturing workflow. A lot of things that we can do that we've kind of talked about in the past. After the email has been sent that the customer has that the item has been shipped, we can wait. We did a little wait for 10 days because that's about the time that it'll take for the client to ship and for the item to be received. And then we can send them out a review request email automatically. You don't have to do anything. You literally just wait 10 days after your order has been placed, and then we send out an email an email asking for a review. All right. So now let's kind of look. Let me save that really quick. Now, if we're talking about, hey, like what are we sending next? So we added that tag. What are we gonna do with that tag? So a few things that we can do. We add that new trigger, tag added, uh, contact tag, tag added, and then we do the purchase. All right, purchase made. And then we save our trigger, and now we can do a lot of things. We can add them to workflow. We can add them to a workflow. We're just gonna assume that this is our workflow that's called um, nurturing. So if you have a lot of like a nurture sequence like we talked about, you can add them to that. You can also send an additional email after a certain amount of time, send them a coupon, like say, hey, they made a purchase and now I'm going to send them a special 20% off coupon for their next purchase. You can do that. You can create an email that does that. A lot of really cool things that you can do that you could just set up once and then you're done and you're set for as long as you have your store up. Alrighty. And what's really cool is like if you don't know how to set up, you don't know how to set something up, but you have an idea, you can use the AI, of course, that comes in the workflows, or you can just reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you. We have a lot of experience with these e-commerce websites and they're really fun to set up. And so if you need help with that, you can definitely reach out to us or post in the group if you have any questions. Or of course, comment under the video if you happen to watch it later. Before we go, because I know we're almost out of time, we want to talk about some common mistakes that you want to avoid. The first one is not creating your details with enough product detail. So you want to make sure that you are adding as much detail as you can so that the client doesn't get confused. All right. And then also, of course, like a lot of people purchase without buying, without reading the product description, but this also kind of can be like a way for you to keep track of what the client purchased if they're saying, hey, I didn't purchase this. All right. Forgetting to turn on the products for the store. And thankfully, when it comes to products, that comes like as a standard. It's already like the toggle is included, so don't toggle that off. Otherwise, your item's not going to show up on your store. And then, of course, number 3 is treating your checkout as the end of the process. Here at Lojo, we're all about making sure that we're nurturing, or at Girl Genie 360, we're all about making sure that we're nurturing these clients when they purchase and when they don't purchase, if you get that information. So that's why we create these workflow automations that add, like you added a tag and then you want to go ahead and put them in a nurturing workflow, etc. Let's see, not checking orders and transactions. This is why you have like those internal notifications, because you want to make sure that you are checking your orders and transactions. And as a general rule, you should just be checking your orders area periodically to make sure you didn't miss anything or an email that went to spam or something like that. And number 5 is not setting up an abandoned checkout follow-up. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. You want to set up an abandoned checkout follow-up because then you can recover clients. Number 6 is using manual payment without a tracking process. Like I showed you in the lead connector, you can pay via cash, but if you want to keep everything in we want to keep track of everything, inventory or just sales in general, you want to use the lead connector app if you're selling in person. That way you can track all the orders within the system. Number 7 is for getting customer notifications. Don't forget that you have to set up your follow-up notifications. So you want to make sure that the client is informed of every stage that their order is in. So whenever they made the order, when the order has been fulfilled, don't forget to set those up. And then, of course, last mistake we want to teach you to avoid is selling recurring products with the wrong setup. So you want to make sure that you're setting up those recurring products correctly. Otherwise, there could be like extra. You can accidentally charge your client extra, or you can accidentally not charge them for the product, and nobody wants to do that. And your best practice is going to be to build a simple e-commerce product that includes a product setup, store pages, checkout, payment collection, order tracking, team notification, fulfillment, customer follow-up, and review or repeat purchase opportunity. The stronger that the process is after checkout, the easier it is for your business to deliver the order without any confusion. Alrighty, and that's all I have for today. Any questions?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Maria, for
Of course.
diligently showing us all those items. And we know it can be a lot. And that's why we are here to support you guys for those who are already using Crocini 360 and have an e-commerce website. And just like Maria already pointed out earlier, most of this stuff you just have to set them up at the beginning or once, and then once it's there, you barely have to kind of like, do stuff. Wait, my Mac is saying that my battery is low. Okay, so I am taking a look at the community right now. Let me just plug it in so that will not die. But anyway, um, just checking if you have any questions. We'll give that a few seconds or like a minute or two. But yeah, as we wait for questions to come in or for anything from our audience, just wanted to re-emphasize that if you have questions about e-commerce store setup, products, checkout, orders, even the manual payment methods that Maria has mentioned earlier, abandoned checkouts or post purchase workflows. That's something that you can go ahead ask right now, or if that's something that you may need to think about later on as you review your own setup, you can drop your questions in the community, or once again, if you're watching this in the public channels and in any comment section. Okay, so let me just give a quick recap. Wait, I'm seeing myself lagging a bit. Is everything okay on your end, Maria?
Let me check.
Okay. No, I mean I noticed myself in the video. This is what I sometimes it makes you self-conscious when you're
Yeah.
seeing yourself. But okay, I'll continue.
No, it
It
looks good.
looks okay. Okay. So to recap today, we looked at Growth Genie 360 and how it can help e-commerce businesses sell products online, also collect payments, even track orders and manage checkout, follow up, and continue to the customer relationship after purchase. And always think about a good e-commerce setup should help your customer buy easily and help your business know exactly what to do next. It may say using Growth 360 with all these things that Maria has shown may sound overwhelming at first, but as you can see in the live or in the actual example, yeah, with the green body care, is that the correct name? I forgot the exact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
Green
it
body care,
the
yeah.
green body care, that one, green body care, that it's really being used as an e-commerce site. So when the product, payment, order, fulfillment, and follow-up steps are connected, the benefits to that, you can save time, you also reduce missed orders, you create a better customer experience, and this is what we want, you build more repeat purchase opportunities. Okay, so once again, let me just check. Okay, we're seeing still a few people viewing. So if you are here with us up to this hour, thank you so much. We know it's more than an hour already that we are here together. But yeah, if there's no questions coming in, then let me just wrap it up. And the usual disclaimer that we say, if you're watching this recording sometime after today and then you notice that what you're seeing on your screen looks a little different from the demo, that's normal because GrowGenie 360 is an ever evolving platform. The system continues to improve, to update features, sometimes layouts and functionality, to continue to support businesses and adapt to the changing shifts or to the shifts in the industry. So while the exact way of seeing it that may shift or change a little bit, the core strategies and systems that we covered still apply. Okay, one final I don't want to miss anything if there's yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it for today's session. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. And we hope that today helped you see how e commerce payments can support a more organized sales process for your business. We'll see you again next time for the Hotline Support Hour. And if you have any specific requests on any feature, topic, workflow idea, you're also welcome to drop those things in the comments section. Okay, so we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of the month, and rest of the year. Bye bye, guys. And we will be ending the live stream here.